So we have this instance, this right here is an instance, and now we need macros. So what we want to do is open up our macro manager. Clicking this button, here, we're going to delete that. Clicking this button opens up your macro manager. So let's talk about your macro manager. This manages your macros. You can have as many macros as you want. This button right here records your new macro. This button allows you to mess with the schedule. The scheduler is a fantastic thing. If you're very clever and you're very patient, you can quite literally schedule your entire gameplay and never actually have to do anything. Now that's super duper, cheating or whatever, some people would argue, but it is what it is. We're not talking about what other people are thinking, we're talking about BlueStacks. So, just for this instance, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a macro. And this macro will go through the entire tutorial of Beastlord. Okay? So, record new macro. Now when I click this, there's going to be a thing that pops up here. We cannot misclick. We have to wait for whatever's going to happen and click on it. Ready? Click there. It goes to the next one. Whenever the game wants us to click, wherever the game wants us to click, that's where we're going to click. Don't click it twice. Don't double click it. Just click it once. Remember, it records mouse clicks. Now it does okay with moving. You see how it lagged a little bit? Whenever things lag a little bit, give it a couple extra seconds, just to accommodate for that lag. Just because I'm, getting lag just because you're getting lag now in this part doesn't mean that you're going to be getting lag, later on. But it's always better to be safe than sorry. So give it like a couple 2 count, 2 or 3 count, like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, and then make her click. What's 3 seconds? Because in the end, when your macro goes off and you get some lag and you click too quickly, your macro will actually mess up on you and it won't work as intended. That will happen to you. Especially when you get a lot of people, like a lot of Alliance members logging on all at once and everybody's grinding. It'll create a little bit of lag. So if you have a grind macro going and there's a little bit of lag, your macro will mess up because it'll try to click something and then it will misclick. And then the next time you look at your hill, it's like in the Alliance Center trying to click on a screen or something. It's crazy. So remember, we're only clicking exactly where it wants us to click, and we're giving it a couple seconds after it tells us to click there. Now, once this macro is all set up and saved and everything, I'll show you a fun little way of doing this, because once your macro is saved, you can actually export it and import it. So, for example, over at my Discord, my Discord server, I could export it into a JSON file, JSON or whatever, and y'all could upload it, y'all could, download it and import it into your BlueStacks macro, and it immediately worked. So this tutorial will, oh, that's new. You see how it says can be built? That wasn't there last time I did this. So this tutorial will stop. The macro will stop when we can access the information up top. Because that's when, like, if you're creating a new hill, right? Or not creating a new hill, but let's say you're creating an instance for a pre-existing hill. So that's when you would actually not want to do the macro anymore, and you want to just, you know, put in your other information, switch over, and now your main hill is on your macro. So that's where this tutorial, or not this tutorial, but that's where this macro will stop. Oh, they getting some now. I don't think the hearts was there last time I did this either. I forget what level the Lord has to be. I believe it's 3. You see, I'm kind of getting off of my circle. I need to keep it in the center. 4 and 5. Oh, poop. We did it! Chapter complete! Yay! You know, it's kind of funny how the game does not tell us how important water is in the beginning. We have to, like, figure that out on our own. Have y'all noticed that? Explore 4 groves. Now this is super boring. The first time you get through it, everybody hates the intros. But the macro is our savior. Again, once the macro is saved, you could run this macro as many times as you want to hill. Just open up, and it doesn't matter which instance. If you make 10 instances and you open up the macro manager, that macro is going to be there as long as it's saved. Now, let's talk about how far will this get you. This will get you pretty far. In the Ants game, I was extremely bored one day, and I made a new hill. And I did a full macro, a 100%. I went past the intro. And I kept everything the same, like the inside of the hill, right? Wherever, you know, you click a building and it wants you to put the building. That's what I did. And I had a macro that went all the way up. Now, true, they have limits. Each macro can only go for so long. So each session, I believe it was 33-minute sessions or something like that. But each session that I had went from Queen like 1, you know, through the intro all the way to Queen 18. I'm not kidding you. There was so many hills that I'd use the scheduler. So many hills. The trick is, when it comes to something like that, is you can't like mess around inside of your hill. You have to start your macros at a certain perspective inside of your hill. A good perspective to start would be when you go above ground and then click the button to go back underground again to look at your hill or your queen. That's a good perspective. So like when you go above ground and come back down and you're looking at your lord, that's a good perspective to start at, because that's a natural default perspective. Chapter complete. See, it won't let us click up there. I'm not even going to click up there because it's going to record that click. Looks like it's forgetting to do the yellow circles on a couple of those dialogues. Oh. Yep, and now we can do it. Go to settings, account, switch account, choose which account you want to switch to, and that's your macro. So at this point you would switch to the account that you want to go into. Oh, let's stop the macro. You would switch to go whatever account you wanted to go into, and you're good to go. But this right here would be your macro. Okay, so let's rename it. Beast Lord Intro. Save it. You could set it on a hotkey if you want. We're not going to use it that much to do it on a hotkey, so we're not going to do that. And that's it. Easy peasy, Beast Lord Squeezy. Grow stronger. BlueStacks everything. Hey, thanks for watching. And just in case you watched this video and you wondered what an instance was, click here.